Okay, I accidentally clicked start recording instead of start streaming. All right, we are live. So I'm gonna be backtesting a little early today because my brother's birthday's today, and I'm gonna go out to eat with my family. So that means that I need to start backtesting now. And so we're gonna be taking like a price action for today. Got pain on my hands, dude. Always painting at work, dude. Anyway. Yeah, we're gonna start reviewing price right now, and I don't know, just look at what happened. So let's go ahead and get started. So looking like we had a nice buy model in the afternoon. I originally thought this was gonna be high resistance, and then we were gonna, essentially push higher or keep pushing higher. But eventually, it ended up turning low resistance. So I want to mark this out because I think it's a valuable observation. High resistance liquidity, right? Once high resistance became low resistance. And when did it become low resistance? When was it confirmed, right? Became so meaning, right, every single time we try and push the trend line, we fail to break it, but then, right, we get a break of structure here, and so at this point now actually the market turns low resistance. I honestly thought that this low was going to be part of like the high resistance liquidity, and ended up turning out to be wrong on that one. And we did actually break this low. So let's go ahead and screenshot this. Once again, previous week's high. I saw that as the draw on liquidity. So previous week's high. And but we did not end up going there until we took out all these lows first. So right, this is high resistance, high resistance, high resistance, break, right? You see that break? So high resistance liquidity became low resistance liquidity. So let's go ahead and make a new folder for today. So this was 9/9/25, my brother's birthday. That's why I'm backtesting early right now, because I'm gonna go out to dinner with my family, and they said I won't have time later, so I'm gonna be doing it now. And so anyway, high resistance liquidity became low resistance liquidity. Bang. Right? See how that happened? We ended up breaking structure here, right? I didn't think this was an obvious break of structure personally. And on the hourly, it was not a break of structure, but, maybe you could consider this break of structure. What up, Matt? I don't know if I've ever seen you before. What's up, bro? Backtesting today a little early. Normally I backtest a little later in the day. But today it's my brother's birthday, and I'm going out to eat with my family, so I got to do it now. So, once again, I don't think this is normally the obvious break of structure, at least for me. But it's clearly what started the move lower, and then we ended up. So I'm going to mark it out, right? I don't know if it's worth marking out, but I am going to mark it out. It might not be an obvious break of structure, but I'm still going to mark it out. I'd prefer an obvious break of structure to be like below that low. So let's go ahead and screenshot that. Once again, I'm not like super loving that. So how could have we caught a trade today? Because honestly, guys, I thought we were going to drop to previous week's high. So what can I learn from what happened? So I'm going to put not super obvious break of structure, but could be considered a break of structure. Okay. Been following the channel. Great content. Dude, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it better and better. one day at a time. Yeah, that's all I can do, one day at a time, you know? So, but some days, like, I don't know, some days I just try and get the bare minimum done, and then other days I just, all of a sudden I'm like locked in and I make a really good video, so kind of just depends. But yeah, dude, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So yeah, we inversed this gap here, and I honestly thought the market was going to end up drawing higher. And we even had S&T with YM, I'm pretty sure. It could have been wrong, actually. Yeah, S&T with YM with this low, right? So it was very misleading. I genuinely thought the market was going to draw higher. Right, S&T with YM right here. This might have even been Asia's lows, actually. So this S&T was very misleading. And, you know, it's hard to be long, right, when we have not taken out these low resistance lows. And so that's a big portion of why the market did end up going down here, is because it's hard for us to be long. It's hard for smart money to be long when we haven't taken out this low resistance liquidity here, right? So S&T with YM here. I thought we were gonna go up, but clearly we did not yet. Move it like this. So yeah, once again, high resistance liquidity became low resistance. And we run down to the bottom of that. So once again, guys, how could I learn from this? Yeah, like I said, we have S&T with YM with this low. Was that Asia's low? It was Asia's low, right? So we had S&T with YM with Asia's low. Yeah, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Today was a difficult day. But one big reason to recognize not doing anything is just the fact that we are trapped between liquidity pools, right? We were trapped between. Anyway, we had these low resistance lows below, so we didn't know for sure we were going to be bullish. So that's something I should keep in mind for the future, right? Even though we had S&T, we had low resistance liquidity below. So something I need to be more careful about in the future, right? Let's mark this out. So even though we had S&T and higher time frame was bullish, we did have a huge range of lows below, and so it was important to go into the market cautious. That's what I will say about that, right? Once again, this was high resistance. I thought that it was going to stay high resistance. On the 5 minute, it's a much more obvious break of structure on the 5 minute. Much more obvious break of structure. Let's go ahead and screenshot this. So once again, S&T with YM, but because of liquidity, it didn't matter. Because of liquidity, it didn't matter. We ended up going lower. It almost just feels like, you know, gravity cracked in on itself here, right? Where everyone's trying to long, and then eventually there's so many people long that haven't been stopped out that the gravity crashes in on itself. So yeah, once again, let's mark this out again, right? S&T in on itself because what did I just say? How did I say it? How did I word it? the market crashed in on itself. So screenshot this again. But yeah, essentially you can see that's exactly what happened. So, okay. Now, I don't know if there was a way to trade to target the lows. We did have an S&T with this high that I noticed. And I think this was 90-minute S&T. But once again, guys, today was honestly more difficult of a day. And this was really tricky. You know what I realized, though? Oh my gosh, I was even thinking this, too. When we got this fake out inversion here, oh my gosh. I was totally thinking this was going to be Phoenix model, and it ended up being Phoenix model. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at this, right? We have 90-minute S&T with this high. Wow, that's crazy. I was thinking it. I didn't act on it, but I was thinking it, right? We have a rejection block, a nice rejection block right here. Now, I'd honestly mark the rejection block out on the 2 or 3 minute because the 1 minute one is kind of weird. Yeah, the 3 minute one looks like it makes a little bit more sense, right? So 90-minute S&T with a sweep, and then these are the high probability rejection blocks you want to use for Phoenix model, right? And easier said than done to catch these because, you know, sometimes you think it's a straightforward rejection block and it's not, and it's easy to get misled, but you can see this ended up being a straightforward rejection block, right? Oh my gosh, look how perfect that was. So once again, easier said than done to catch these kinds of trades, but I thought it in the moment. I was like, that could end up being a nice Phoenix model for rejection block. And you know why? Pay attention to the AMD. Pay attention to the AMD, right? We had just such an obvious buildup of liquidity. By the time we get here, it's like, okay, now it's just like there's too much longs built up, right? All this became low resistance, and then we ended up going lower. So 90-minute S&T, you could look at how perfect this is, guys, by the way, right? So you measure out this rejection block, enter at consequent encroachment. Look at that. Look at that perfect entry, right? That top ticks it. That actually top ticks it. Once again, easier said than done, but wow. So once again, top ticks this. Inducement into the rejection block. I mean, doesn't this just get you excited? Like, every time you feel like there's not hope, just start backtesting. Because genuinely, right, these markets provide opportunity. It's just like, it's just hard. It's just hard. Right, and so anyway, accumulation, right, just a giant accumulation range. It is just hard, though. I can't even sugarcoat it. It is hard. But yeah, look at that. Phoenix model right here. And then let's measure this out, right? Oh my gosh. Dude. Shut up, dude. Shut up. These markets are perfect. They're perfect. Guys, we need to lock in. These markets are always right. These markets are always right. Look how perfectly we ran to the 8th standard deviation. And the 4th one as well. Of the rejection block. These markets are perfect. If only I was perfect. I'm not, right? I'm a human being. That is so perfect. Oh my gosh. That is something to appreciate, right? Oh my gosh, dude. If you can't appreciate that, then I don't know, man. That's just... wow. Accumulation, manipulation. And you know what else, right? We had a... man, so this key time actually was important. So key time was 9:22. Wait a second. Where's 7:30? 7:30. Where's midnight? Let's just pull up all the times. Yeah. Midnight right here. Once again, though, it's not easy. It's just not. Oh, I wish it was easier. All right, midnight. What hint could have given us? What hint could we have had to know that this was possibly going to be manipulation? Right? Were we at the high of? Were we at new day opening gap? No. New week opening gap? No. Were we at the high of the range? Oh my gosh. We were. Yeah, bro. This is how you know. This is how you know it's a high probability rejection block. When the rejection block sits at the high of the dealing range. When you have a Phoenix model at the high of the dealing range, you know this is going to be a higher probability rejection block for Phoenix model. That is so cool. So yeah, if you entered at Phoenix Mini right here, this would have been 16-1. But once again, let's just be realistic here. Yeah, let's just be realistic. Let's just say you entered it as a regular, simple Phoenix model down to the low. That'd be 4. That'd be 4R, right? And once again, I don't think you can go break even on this. I think this is, with Phoenix model, you gotta just hold. You gotta hold. So... by the way, 10-12, we had a whale who absorbed a lot of orders. Yeah, that makes... dude, that makes so much sense. That one day that whale's going to be me, bro. That whale's going to be me one day. That whale literally changed the course of history with the market for today. Because the market was going to go up to that previous week's high. And then that whale was like, actually, nah, I like this liquidity pool better. That whale literally changed the course of history. Stopping those orders right there. That is why, man, that is why we gotta look at the order book. And I'm not just saying that, like, because I don't know how to read the order book, but I gotta start being able to read the order book so I can say, oh, wow, there's a whale with 10,000 orders at 23,850. We're probably not gonna keep going past that Phoenix model rejection block midpoint. And so if I can just know that there's a whale sitting here, I'm gonna put my order right here and sit right in front of the whale. So that way I know that next time I'm not going to miss the move. What up, Kirk? What up, Sam? How's it going, guys? So yeah, the simple way to take this. Are you working on price action, or do you have another strategy? I just trade. The way I trade is very simple. I have one of 4 entry models to target old highs and lows in the market. I just identify accumulation, manipulation, and then try and use one of 4 entries to get onside with distribution. That's all I do. But yeah, ICT concepts. Screw the order book. It's all spoofed. You think it's all spoofed? I don't know, man. You can't. Eventually, at some point, some of it's spoofed, but some of it's not. Like you can't spoof certain things. You can't spoof. Like that guy, whoever entered there, he can't spoof it. So this is the regular Phoenix model at 936, right? Where you just entered on a retest of that 3-minute rejection block. So 936 Phoenix model, Phoenix. And then just a 3-minute rejection block. Retest. Very simple. But then, like I was saying, right? If you want to get ultra precise with this, like an absolute wizard, you enter as an inducement at the consequent encroachment. And you enter an inducement of that high. No bookmap or depth of market pure price action. I feel like it's all just different pieces of the same puzzle. I mean, depth of market tells you something. Price action itself tells you something. I mean, they're just different ways to look at the same thing. It's all just market making, right? So I think it's helpful, but I don't quite understand it all the way. I mean, if I could know, for instance, that there was a whale sitting right at 23,851, and they had a ton of orders sitting there, and that's already where I was going to enter, I could enter with higher conviction. It's just another confluence. Just like I use StatMap, right? I use StatMap as an additional confluence for my trade. I use a new day opening gap as an additional confluence for my trade. Seeing a giant whale with 10,000 orders, that's just an additional confluence for my entry. That's all it is. I'm not saying it has to be one way or the other. I just think it's a confluence. So then this one is 1011 Phoenix Mini. And then look how perfectly we go to the 8 standard deviation, guys. It just, these markets are perfect. Anyone's complaining, it's like, oh, guys, the market's just bad price action. No, guys, the market's always right. Let's lock in. Let's lock in, seriously. Like, enough talk of these markets just not being good conditions. They're always right. Stop blaming the market, right? Phoenix Mini, 1011, save. I don't know. If you can spot a whale, you can just front run him. Exactly, bro. Like, let's say that we could identify that there was a whale that had 10,000 orders at the consequent encroachment of the rejection block. We already know that that's a key level. So now that whale is an additional confluence for our trade. I don't really know how to identify that, but I think it's valuable, right? FA said whale had a lot of orders here, right? No way, you shorted here? That's crazy. Yeah, man, that was a nice Phoenix model, I can't lie. I mean, we perfectly tapped that consequent encroachment. And we manipulate midnight. I mean, just super, super nice. So yeah, if we could know that there was a whale there, that's going to be beneficial. I mean, even if it's spoofed, even if it's spoofed, it's still a possibility it's real, and that possibility, it's an additional confluence, because you can't put an order in the order book without putting it in there. You have to put it in the order book if you're gonna enter the market. Some of them have to be real, is what I'm trying to say, and because some of the orders have to be real, I think it's helpful. But once again, I am just getting better, guys. All right, let's keep looking around. Once again, guys, today was kind of hard because I did think the market was bullish, and then we had high resistance liquidity that essentially turned to low resistance once we started breaking these lows here. And it's just, the market crash caved in on itself like a bomb. Like the market, everyone was moving one way, and then all of a sudden the floor fell out. Right, the floor fell out. There's too much gravity. Gravity caved in on itself here because everyone was going long, and then we had just this giant range below, and then we caved in. So FA said Will was at the Phoenix mini entry. You cannot fake price that's already printed. Firstly, it's illegal. Second, you can track it. You guys, I'm so lost. I'm just going to keep going. I think that there's definitely spoofing going on, but some of the orders have to be real. Some of them have to be real, right? I mean, I'm not an expert, but you can't enter the market without putting a limit order in the order book. I don't know. That's just kind of what I think, but I could be totally wrong. I don't know. As always, I'm trying to get better, guys. Yeah, definitely tell us where whales were today. I need a FA. What program do you use to spot whales? Because I need to figure out what program to use because I have no idea. I'm such a noob with it, and I want to get better. I want to get better at spotting whales. So I need to know more information on that. I don't know how to use it. Oh, the other thing that I liked about that, right? The rejection block was at the top of our range here. This dealing range. See how the rejection block was we swept liquidity and the rejection block was in the liquidity sweep partition. I like that. I like that a lot. It tells me that it's a higher probability rejection block because it's in the liquidity sweep partition, or it's the high of the dealing range. Probability rejection block for Phoenix model because it is at the high of our gold block range and swept liquidity. Basically, if you don't know what this is, right, it's just hidden dealing ranges in the market for market maker models to form. You can see the market maker sell model formed at the top of this red line, and we sweep liquidity into the gold area. So it's a higher probability rejection block. So I think that's somewhat helpful, right? Oh, my phone's, someone's calling me. At the high of the dealing range. Hey guys, hang on. Someone was calling me. Or not. I don't know. I guess no one was calling me. Alright, never mind, I guess. Let's keep going. So, I can tell you where whales were today. Can't tell you. Use DOM or... You can't tell me where you use the spot. FA's probably got the real order book that the institutions use. That's why he can't tell. Bro. Alright, well, it is what it is. FA's got the real order book. I wish I could get FA's order book, but yeah, I don't know how to do that. So I'm here stuck with just regular price action, which I still think you can use perfectly fine. It's just you know, I would like to know exactly where the whales are if I could. Bro, past is the past. We can't guess the future. If we want to be I'm lost, bro. If we want to be profitable, then we have to track the whale, what wants to do in the present. Just the system. Oh, okay. You can't. Where can I? Do you know what program? Do you know what program I can get that will tell me the order book? That's that's actually reputable. I don't know what you're saying, Sam, but I think what you're saying is we gotta spot the whales in the present, and I agree. But I got kind of lost. I'm not gonna lie. Whales are in the ocean, not. Kirk, you're funny. Okay, let's keep going. So, I'm honestly gonna get rid of all this, right? If we jump to the higher time frame, I mean, one of the big reasons for why price went lower today was we did have this giant S&T. Honestly, I thought that the S&T at the highs here was not gonna hold. I thought that this was gonna fail, but you can see that it was previous day's high S&T, and it ended up holding. Right? So I should have been more open-minded to that. Previous day's high S&T here ended up holding. So let's figure out why it held, right? What were some reasons why this previous day's high S&T actually held when I thought it wouldn't? Why did it hold? So let's make a note of this, right? This previous day's high S&T ended up holding. Well, one thing is, these previous day's high S&Ts are going to be stronger, right? Oh my gosh. I think you have footprint chart on TradingView. Is footprint chart going to tell me where the orders are, though? Anyway, one day at a time, I'll figure it out. Previous day's high, S&T rejected price. I mean, yeah, today, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Today was very tricky. Today was very, very tricky. And there's no other way to put it besides the fact that maybe a long at these lows, after we sweep out the lows, there's probably a good long. If I had to guess, there's probably a good long down here. If you learn how to use footprint chart, you can spot them. Dang, I gotta learn how to use footprint chart then. But I'm still getting better with it. We ended up having S&T with YM here. And so that's one reason for why we went higher. So S&T right at that low with YM. So I guess let's look at the afternoon. Even though the morning was kind of confusing, you know what? I'm going to look at the afternoon real quick, right? Essentially in the afternoon, we run down and we push down into essentially sweeping out all these lows into we sweep out the lows of the bodies, and that is the low, right? We sweep at the low of the bodies and then we go higher. So bang. So sweep the low. That's all it took. We had I don't know if there's a 1 hour gap. Maybe you can consider this a 1 hour gap. Let's just say we consider this a 1 hour gap, right? 1 hour gap, 1 hour BPR. I don't know if that's like the good one to use, but let's just say we do. Okay. Man, and then better than marking zigzag indicator, which can tell you trends. Zigzag indicator? I mean, I've used indicators, but after I get the indicator to tell me what I want to know, then I just mark it out manually because, yeah. So this looks like a 2022 model if I had to guess. This is a textbook 2022 model, guys. I'm not even going to lie, right? We get S&T with this low, right? S&T, we ended up sweeping out the low. We get a break of structure. Oh my gosh, bro. Why is it always so easy when I'm not on the charts? Oh my gosh. Guys, liquidity sweep? No way this was just this so... Oh my gosh. I actually love 2022 model. It's so simple, right? We sweep liquidity with S&T. We might even get a low time frame S&T here. Yep, we do. We get S&T with YM at the low. And then So yeah, S sweep, and then a higher time frame sweep. So yeah, bang, bang, and then break of structure right here. And then 2022 gap right here. And then an inducement into that gap. What? Bro, Sam, I am so confused. What are you saying? I'm lost, man. I'm lost. I can't lie. Oh, man, 2022 model is goated. No wonder TGR is so profitable. It actually makes a lot of sense. Shoot. And then, yeah, we induce this low below the 2022 gap. One of these days, I'm going to take a trade like this, and it's just going to be so beautiful. I tried this trade earlier in the day. I did try this. This is not this exact one, but I tried a 2022 model. Did not end up working, which is, you know, it's sad, but we just move on. They're not. 2022 model is nice because even though it's not always going to work, when it does work, it's usually super good RR. That's the nice thing about the 2022 model. So we induce this low here. We could even look for a low time frame change instead of delivery, but honestly, just entering as an inducement of this low is already so good on its own. I'd be fine with that. And then why could we target here? I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I feel like you just have to scale out with this one, right? You scale out and look at this. This up to back to those highs, that's 8R. It's pretty good. Right? I'm not saying I'd be able to catch that, but there is opportunity in these markets. Right? So let's just mark it out as just taking it up to, let's just say that we took it up to this high here, because I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to hold it that far. Right, let's just say that we took it up to this high. That's 3R. You know what I mean? That's 3R. So pretty good. So about the whales today, yeah, let us know more about the whales. So yeah, we got double SMT here, and then sweep, breaker structure, 2022 gap, inducement up to that high. So 1050. It was also at the right at the start of the macro too. That is how you know, guys. This is how you know you're on side. If your entry ever happens right at 1050, I mean, that is just perfect. Look at that. I would not have been surprised if this ended up pushing even higher, because look at how perfectly this starts at the entry is right at the start of the macro. Oh my gosh. This would be kind of scary though. Look at how fast this candle dumps. Dumpage and then acceleration. I'm not saying it's easy to catch that, but still cool. Still cool. Right? So 1050, 2022 model. Let's say we wanted to be extra safe, which is what I like to do a lot of the time, right? I like to wait for confirmation on the 15 or 5 second. So 1050, 2022 model, and then 1 minute. Let's say we wanted to be extra safe. So we drop down to like, I'm liking the 15-second ones a lot. The 15-second change of states. I don't know. For some reason, they're usually pretty clean. This one, you need to use a 5-second. So I'd go down to the 5-second. And yeah, I know you guys might hate on me for the 5-second, but I do think once you master it, slowly it reveals how it becomes obvious how powerful it really is, right? So I would probably take it like this once we got that change in state. Then again, I don't know. Maybe you have to wait for this one. Yeah. So I guess it's not super obvious. I guess I probably wouldn't take a 5-second change of state off of it. Okay, let's move on. Once again, if you did hold this up to that high, then it would go all the way up. 946 short, 958 short, 1012 big short, 1038 long, 1044 big or long, 1108 big long. Then after 12 a.m. there was a lot of buying pressure. Interesting. I'm going to have to start backtesting footprints, or not even necessarily backtesting, but forward testing footprints. Like in the moment when I'm trading live, I should really be watching footprints, because isn't it free? Isn't footprints free? I need to start checking it out, because, you know, if it's another confluence, why not, dude? Why not? But yeah, this inducement, we end up drawing higher this whole day. After we get it, which is kind of cool. What time is it? Okay, still got some time before I gotta film a market recap. Inducement took us higher for the whole day. Once again, guys, I am by no means claiming today was easy. Today was hard as heck. I mean, there was just no obvious point where it seemed like we were going to go lower, and then all of a sudden the market just slowly caved in. It slowly caved in on itself. And if you have a subscription on TV, you have it. Fastball. Can you get footprints on TradingView? And are they any good on TradingView? Yeah, guys, I think the most obvious trade that I can tell, look at how we had an S&T into that rejection block too. Wow, okay, wait. Look at this, guys. 5-minute rejection block. Okay, this is actually really cool. The 10-12 short, we can go to lower time frame and wait for a 30-second change in state off of the 5-minute rejection block. I'm not gonna lie, that is probably the trade of the day. Oh, TV is TradingView. Oh, okay, let me write that down. I thought you meant TV, like actual TV. Okay, alright, fastball. Okay, let's write that down. Fastball. Okay, fastball. Footprints are free. But what about... Oh, you were saying if I have a subscription on TradingView, I have it. Okay. Fastball free, but then if I have subscription on TradingView, which I do, then I have it. So I gotta get better at watching them, because I never look at them. But I don't know how to read them is the thing. That's the main issue. I don't know how to read them, and it's kind of confusing, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna try and get better. So yeah, look at this, right? We induce this high into our little whale area, that FA whale spot, where FA said that we get that whale. And then, when did we get obvious change in state here, right? 5-minute rejection block. Inducement. I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't seem like an obvious change in state. Well, let's drop down to the 15-second. So this is tricky because there's not an obvious change in state that I see. Besides, I guess on the 30-second. Maybe you could consider, I don't know. It's not an obvious change in state. I'm not even gonna lie, it's not obvious. Maybe you have to take this as an inversion then. Right? We do get this as an inversion. Man, there's no obvious change in state. This is hard. This is hard. Oh, I guess this 1 minute inversion is kind of nice. Right? We get an IPG off of this area. Yeah, I guess that's one of the only ways to take this. I'm not seeing 30-second change in state. Once again, though, the issue is it's not super obvious, which means I probably would not take this. That's the main issue. And on the 2 minute, it's very not obvious that we inverse it. So, I don't know. It's not clear. Ooh, the 3 minute is actually good. Okay, so the 3 minute is actually good. So, I guess you could take this on the 3 minute. Okay, alright, I guess there is an entry. The 3 minute inverses right here. Okay. Alright, 3 minute inverses. We're delivering from the rejection block with SMT. You know, this is worth the risk. Not necessarily super obvious, but decently worth the risk. 5.17. What's with the faces, bro? What's with the faces? Alright, S&T here. I like that one. I like that a lot. So 3 minute IPG. And once again, this just makes sense in the terms of context of liquidity. In the context of liquidity, this makes sense. Why are you making the faces? Alright. So 3 minute inversion. You're just watching and thinking. Nice, 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 nice. You could also take this as a Jan entry, right? Where, but I'm not gonna get into that. Let's just screenshot this. Oh, what? I accidentally opened Skype. I don't even use Skype, bro. How did that happen? I don't even use Skype. I didn't even know I had Skype. Oh my. Sorry guys, I accidentally opened this. Okay. But yeah, I really like the Phoenix model there. 3 minute inverse here, 1018. Wow, look at that. You know another reason why this is so good? What time was this, guys? Pay attention. It was the Hydra macro. I have a video coming out on this. From Mama. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. I have a video coming out on this today that's going to explain the Hydra macros, but from 20 until 40 of every hour, that's another macro. Just like 50 to 10 is a macro, 20 to 40 is a macro. Because I explain it in the video. I'm not going to explain it right now. But guys, my video that's coming out today, short form video, hopefully it's going to be pretty good. Windows computer. It's a laptop. It's barely a computer. It barely qualifies. I don't even know if it does qualify as a computer. Use Windows icon and shift for snipping tool. Windows icon and S. Use Windows icon shift and S. Yeah, well, then I can't save it to my files is the thing. That's the reason I don't do that, cuz every time I do Windows sign shift S. So okay, let's say I do Windows sign shift S. Right? There we go. it copies it to my clipboard, but then I can't access it to save it to my files. So yeah, it's in my clipboard, I'm pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure I can screenshot it, and then I can go like to Discord and place it in. Like I could probably place it right here. Yeah, see, I can place the screenshot in TradingView here. It's copied to my clipboard, but the issue is that I can't save it to my files. I don't know how to save it to my files now. That's why I've been doing it the way I've been doing it. Because whenever I screenshot it, normally when I screenshot it with Snipping Tool, it'll pop up an option to save it to my files. And then when I do it this way, there's no option to save it to my files. That's why. That's why I've been doing it. Because otherwise, I would love to do it like that. But it's not. Like, I screenshot it, and then how do I save it to my files? It's on my clipboard. Maybe I can do Control V. See, I don't know how to do that is the only issue. Otherwise, I would do it like that, but I don't know how to save it to my files. That's why. Hopefully that made sense. But yeah, I would love to use it like that, the shortcut, but it doesn't let me save it to my files. It only lets me copy it to my clipboard. Maybe it's in the settings. I wonder if it's in the settings. Screenshots are saved to. But that's not what I want either, because I need to manually. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work because I could save screenshots to a certain screenshot folder, but I need to retitle them and stuff. What strategy are you back to? Bro, it's like every 10 minutes. Basically, I just trade ICT concepts, but specifically, I look for one of 4 entry models to target old highs, lows, and consolidations. Really simple. But the secret is identifying the accumulation, the manipulation, and then getting onside with distribution. That's the secret. So yeah, I guess I still need to save this. So what time is this at? 10:18, 10:15. 10:15 IPG 3-minute. Oh man, today was hard, guys. I can't even lie. I'm trying so hard to make a case for, the fact that maybe there was opportunity. But today, I'm not even gonna lie, guys. Today was hard, especially because look at this morning. Look at the morning, right? We look at price action in the morning. Oh, it's just gross. This is gross. What happens after market open? This is nasty. This was nasty. This was just not fun. I mean, maybe there was a trade at 10 a.m. Honestly was not super obvious, to be honest. Yeah, once again, nasty price action. There comes a time where you genuinely, there's times where you genuinely, if you don't see anything, do not try and take a trade, because it's not there. It's not there. If there's no opportunity, you just have to step away. So sometimes that's just going to be the way it is. And it's so much easier said than done. I mean it. Genuinely so much easier said than done. But yeah. Yeah, so much easier said than done. Now, if I had seen that rejection block trade, that would be the probably one opportunity I think that would have been really actually really good. But I don't know if I mean, I kind of saw it in the moment, but My brain's still getting familiarized with what the good ones look like. So now you're hiding behind glass. What is going on with you guys? Okay, yeah, guys, I can't sugarcoat it. This was just difficult price action. Let's drag this over a little bit more. Let's see. This was at 3 a.m. During London session, there actually probably was an opportunity with this. Yeah, look at this. During London session, this would have been a fire trade, right? We got previous day's high right here, and S&P had already taken previous day's high, so we have this 15-minute rejection block. Now, this is the issue, right? There's not always going to be opportunities, but when we can look at the charts in hindsight, of course there's going to be a million opportunities because we're looking at the whole day at once. Exactly, Sam, exactly. But like I was saying, right? Of course there's going to feel like there's a million opportunities when we're looking at the day in hindsight as a whole because we're looking at everything that happened. And so over the course of 24 hours, there could be 20 opportunities. There could be 30. But the issue is, one, are we going to see it right in the moment? And two, are we even going to be on the charts right in the moment? And so, yes, there's 20 to 30 opportunities per day at least. But that doesn't mean that we're able to... Probably more than that, right? If I'm being completely honest, if you count micro scalping and stuff. But does that mean that I'm going to be able to be aware to catch every single one? That's a whole different story. That's why trading is so hard. That is why trading is so hard. It's not that there's not opportunities. There is. It's just that I'm not watching the market 24/7. And, if I could be, and if I could just be a robot, then maybe trading would be easier. Anyway, previous day's high S&T into the consequent encroachment of the rejection block. So what is this, guys? What is this? It's a Phoenix model, right? Very nice Phoenix model. It even taps consequent encroachment, so that means it's a Phoenix Mini, right? This is a Phoenix Mini. The more I backtest Phoenix model, the more I realize Phoenix model is genuinely one of the best models because you are always going to get in at the high of the model. You're getting in right at the S&T. How cool is that, right? When I enter at the consequent encroachment of a rejection block with S&T, I'm top ticking this thing every single time. How cool is that? Even if I enter it right here to target this low resistance liquidity, that's exactly. I'm not saying any of us need 20 or 30 R, but I just like to look at these kind of opportunities, right? Now, is it easy? No. But I just want to show how these Phoenix models are happening all the time. So, yeah, 330. I mean, genuinely, if I could just do personal account Phoenix models and probably be really successful, but it's easier said than done. 330 Phoenix. This is on the 15-minute, right? Yeah, I agree. I don't need a super higher R, but sometimes I just see them and I like to mark them out, because when I see stuff, I want to at least mark it out. So, and then, the other thing I was going to mark out is, if you enter that consequent encroachment, that's double the RR now, right? Now you got 40R. But once again, easier said than done, right? I'm not saying this is easy. It's not. But if you targeted all that low resistance liquidity, that'd be 40R. Pretty cool how that ends up working out, right? No, I'm not saying it's easy. Oh my gosh. Let me screenshot this. Come on. So, Phoenix Mini. Man, these markets, they're difficult. They are difficult. They're difficult stuff. stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. You get what I'm trying to say. Phoenix minute, 15 minute. Phoenix mini. And then, yeah, we could align this with a 1 minute change of state delivery. And then we could get a little bit more precise here, right? Let's say you wanted extra confirmation. That's basically what the whole, that's what the waiting for the change of state delivery does, is it gives you extra confirmation. So now we have a 15-minute rejection block. And then we have a 1 minute change of state delivery. This is beautiful, guys. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is A+ right here. I mean, look at that displacement. I wonder if we have the macro as well, the London macro. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I never see these London macros do anything. These weird time macros that ICT created, I never see them do anything. I don't even know if they're real, to be honest. I never see the 403 to 430 and 230 to 3 do anything. They might not even be real. But they might be, I don't know. You guys know what macros I'm talking about? Those London session macros? I never see those work. But maybe that's just me. Yeah, 1 minute change in state. Put stop loss above there, that swing high, because of the momentum, right? And then now you get in for this whole move lower, right? Not saying it's easy, but look at that. Bang, dude. The secret to trading is just being super bored for long enough time. The secret to trading is being bored for a long enough time, because when the obvious trade comes, it's going to hit you like a rock. And oh my gosh, we could even target, okay, I would target the third standard deviation here because it's aligned with that low. And look at the eighth standard deviation. Oh my gosh, I can't make this up, guys. Now, I don't know. If I'm being realistic, let's just try and be realistic for a second. I'm not going to hold it that far. I'm targeting these low resistance lows. That's 3R. Guys, I'm just trying to be realistic. I want to say, when I take a trade, I want to be able to say, I'm taking it exactly how I'm going to take it in real life, right? And realistically, I'm going to take it like that. That's how I'm going to take it. So I'm going to just be realistic for a second and just say, okay, how would I take this trade for real? And that's how I would take it for real, right? Down to those low resistance lows. Anything past that doesn't really make sense, at least in my opinion, because we have a gap there. So 1 minute change in state. I'd enter on the close. Just beautiful stuff, guys. Once again, the secret to trading is literally just being stupidly bored, and the obvious trades will come to you in time. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. Like, I am not good at it. Like, people who are literally, like, they have to be bored for a living, those guys are probably super good at trading. Anyone who just genuinely just, like, I don't know. I don't know what jobs have to be super bored for a living. You know what I mean? So, low state Phoenix, 341. Now, it was not in macro, but still. (15-minute key level, 1 minute change in state. So once again, we're using a rejection block, so I'm calling it Phoenix model, but also flow state. That's why I call it flow state Phoenix, because we're using a rejection block as key level. Okay. Yeah. I probably need to film soon. But I don't have a ton. I'm gonna still keep backtesting. Today was difficult, guys. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Today was just difficult. Today was difficult. 3:15, yeah. 3:41. I'm kind of curious to see. I'm gonna grab my phone for a second. I want to see if there's anyone watching. But yeah, I need to film it probably in the next 30 minutes because I gotta go with my family for my brother's birthday. Go out to eat with them. So yeah, let's go ahead and look. Nice, 2 watching. Let's go. Okay, well, let's go. 2 more subs. Dang. Yeah, guys. This is, oh my gosh. I know this was like 6:45 in the morning, which is 4:45 my time. But if we could have been on the charts at this time, this would have been super nice. Because what's this? 5-minute BPR. I mean, I don't need to even know the higher time frame bias for this one. This one I could figure out in the moment. 5-minute BPR. We sweep these highs into the 5-minute BPR. Right. Are you headed out, FA? Yeah, or you're just saying I have to go soon. Yeah, I have to go soon. But man, this is obvious, dude. This one's just like, when I see this happen, bro, this is a high probability trade. This is an example of a trade coming to me. But yeah, I think there was S&T here. Yeah, look at this high. Once again, easier said than done, but what is this, guys? This is S&T with ES. It might even be 90-minute S&T. We got to go lower time frame and see if there was 90-minute S&T. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's crazy how perfect this market is. What the heck? So the 431 candle is the swing high, which officially makes this the start of the quarter because it's a 90-minute cycle, right? So we have S&T on the 90-minute. Wow, market's perfect. What the heck? Right? So S&T on the 90-minute with ES. Once again, why is this S&T on the 90-minute? Because split into 90-minute quarters, right? The high of here to here, the high of here. So this is the high of the 90-minute. It's perfect. The swing high is perfectly right there. And then what's the high of this quarter? Right here. So we have S&T between the high of this and this. So 90-minute S&T, and then we have a 5-minute BPR, so I look for a 30-second change in state. And we get a sweep of this high. Yeah, I think the obvious change in state occurs right here. I would probably say this is a good 30-second change in state. So change state right there. yeah, that's pretty good. So 30-second change in state off the 5-minute BPR. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh man, we don't go further than that though. Oh my gosh, but we do retest it later and then go to it. Oh my gosh, dude. Look at this. 2, 3. Yeah, I would target the fourth one because there's definitely enough liquidity to take us to that fourth standard deviation right here. Right, you see how there's definitely consolidation over here, so people are going to get stopped out from over here. Well, I need to adjust this here. Yeah. So I'd probably take some off at the third and some off at the fourth. Or maybe just, I actually take all off at the third. That's a simple thing to do. Let's just do that. I mean, 3R, who's complaining about 3R? I'm not complaining about 3R. That's fine. That is the, then you don't have to stress when it goes back up. Just take all off there. You could even take all off at 2R. That's honestly pretty decent just to do that. So 90-minute sweep, and then 30-second change in state. So once again, guys, you see the AMD? Do you see the AMD accumulation, building up of stop losses? Manipulation with SMT on the 90-minute cycle right here. And then distribution. We get in on a 30-second change in state off the 5-minute BPR. And then enter right here. Actually, this is more than 3R. This is 3.8R. That's clean. That's clean. Wow, that's clean. Man, I'm at, like, this is the kind of trade where if I took this live and posted it to my Twitter, I would be so proud of it, dude. I'd be so proud of it. Once again, though, easier said than done. I wish I was perfect. Then trading would be easy. Like, once again, guys, all you need is just to sit and be patient and wait for one of these a day. One of these a day. And you're making, like, thousands and thousands of dollars a month. That is why trading is so much patience and not anything else. Right? So much patience. It's not easy, though. So, 646. Flow state, close, 5-minute, 30-second. And then, yeah, the other thing I wanted to show you guys is that the retest ends up working later on as well. Now, I don't know why sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but check this out, right? The retest ends up working out later. Right, we end up retesting it here, getting an inducement of this high. So one reason this possibly ends up working out is there's a swing high that forms right below the change in state. Once again, guys, if you haven't watched my video on turtle soup, this is what I mean when I say this is turtle soup, right? The inducement, we induce the high into the change in state. So that's going to be high probability inducement. Stop loss at the high where the SMT was, and then we can target Once again, though, it's not always this easy, and I'm not saying it is. I don't think I would have taken this, but I just like marking it out because it's cool. It's just cool. It's not just cool, it's awesome. But am I perfect enough to take it? No. I mean, maybe someday down the road I'll keep getting better, but oh my gosh, look at that, man. You can even make this whole entire thing be the accumulation range. Nah, I'm just gonna have it like that. So this is why I want to be able to spot for wills, because if I can see loading up of a position right here, that's gonna be. Oh my gosh! You know what I just realized? This is not really flow state. This isn't flow state at all. This isn't flow state at all. This is, you know why this worked, right? This worked because it was a Phoenix model. Wait a second. First, let's mark this out. 8, 12. So, flow state. What? Flow state. I'd probably call this a flow state inducement. Or flow state retest. Or, yeah, flow state retest. Either one, flow state inducement. I'll just call it flow state retest because it's a retest. And then 5 minute, 30 second. But that's, I don't think it's obvious enough to take. But what I do think is kind of cool is, check this out. I think this is a 1 minute rejection block. Oh my gosh, guys. Look at this, man. No wonder Powell Trades is so rich. No wonder Powell Trades is so rich, dude. It just makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. Look at these rejection blocks with SMT. No wonder Powell Trades is so rich, dude. It's just perfect. These markets are like, these Phoenix models are just perfect. Oh yeah, did I say what up, Javier? What up, Javier? Probably film the market recap soon. Actually, I need to film it really soon. Okay, yeah. So that 1 minute rejection block. I'm loving these. Yeah, I should have honestly had no trades today. You know what? One day at a time. And then we end up drawing to just the max. Let's measure this out actually. Wow. See, I would target here if I took this, which I didn't. Actually, no, I would target the fourth. The fourth is clean. Wow, what the heck, though? This is crazy. Look at the rejection block. The same rejection block works again. The same rejection block that worked first time worked again. Wait, this is actually so crazy. Wait, first let's mark this out. So, 1 minute rejection block with sequential SMT. Wait, this is actually super cool. I'm not saying I would target the 8th standard deviation. I'd probably just target the 4th, but I'm just marking this out. Phoenix model. Honestly, guys, Phoenix model with sequential SMT is stupidly powerful. Stupidly powerful. Let's actually make a mark of that. Okay, so 8:13. Phoenix, 1 minute, right? Is on the 1 minute? But then also, like, here, I'm going to make another note of this. Oh, you know what else we should look for? Where's that true open? How are you leaning tomorrow? Oh, that's a great question. I'll look at that right after I mark this one out. Just because this is so cool. This rejection block works twice. Holy, wait. This is the first time I've seen this work out, where the 16th standard deviation actually marked out the low. That is crazy. I can't lie, that's pretty cool. This is the first time I've seen that work. I like that. And we also induced the high, too. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. Alright, I'm almost done. And I'll look at it. But yeah, right? The reason this is so nice is because we induced this range into the rejection block. That's pretty cool. Now, yeah. I'm not even going to mark that out. I'm just going to screenshot this. So this is at market open. Okay, 9:31. Phoenix, 1 minute. Okay, let's move on. So how am I leaning for tomorrow? Well, let's take a look. Oh man, the market's kind of being a little tricky right now. I mean, I've been bullish because 12-hour inverse, and then we're drawing up here. But this is kind of what I wanted to see. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see us push up into this daily volume imbalance. And yeah, it's exactly what happened, right? We ran up to this daily volume balance. So look at this, Javier. So one thing I was thinking is daily volume balance, and we hit that, and then as well, right, it's a liquidity pool. Whoops. Right, this is a liquidity pool. Actually, we have not quite gone up to the high here yet, but right, it's a liquidity pool, so we might end up needing to fill this. And then check this out, right? If I go to the stat map, that's not the one. I want to look at the monthly one. Dang. Yeah, that's interesting. See, I look at the monthly statistical manipulation level, right? This is what I was looking at earlier today. Is the daily volume imbalance is perfectly situated at this liquidity pool, and then within that liquidity pool is the monthly statistical manipulation level. And so with all that in mind, monthly M minus here, what might end up happening is, check this out. 23,963 wicked out. Dang, yeah, that could be really that could be a really good opportunity, honestly. So yeah, so daily volume imbalance here. And then what else? It just keeps getting more interesting, right? We have if I go to the monthly or the daily chart, you can actually see that we've been getting monthly SMT for quite a while now, right? Monthly S&T with this high. Monthly S&T. And similar to what happened with, hang on a second. Similar with what happened over here on the daily chart all the way back here. We ended up getting, well, I'm going to have to go back kind of far, but that's okay. Wait, this is 2019. What am I doing? Whoops. So if I drop down here, oh, this is 2021. Still, same concept applies though, right? So this is same concept applies. We had a previous month's high. SMT. I'm gonna make a new template for this. And then we had an inducement of this high into the S&T. Right? And so I've seen this happen quite a few times now, where we get inducement into our S&T, and then it delivers us lower. So what I'm possibly thinking, I don't know for sure, I kind of want to look at the other time this happened as well. I think this happened maybe, I think it was right here. Yeah, so this is maybe not exactly the same. No, it is exactly the same. We had December high. Maybe not previous month's high though. But we had S&T with this high. You know what? It was previous year's high. Oh. That's interesting. Previous year's high. We had S&T with previous year's high. And then we swept liquidity into it. Or maybe you can consider a previous 3-month high. Either way. Hi.
It's me.
Oh.
Hi, are you living right now?
Yeah, I'm about
Nice.
to finish up and then record. Oh, I guess it's 5:10. I should probably do it. I should probably finish.
We're leaving for Fuji's at 6.
Okay.
Just wanted to let you know.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, good to see you too, Ada. Guys, I honestly just get so sidetracked so easily, but is this not really cool? Right? You have to admit, this is the high of 2024. Then this is 2025. It's the previous year's high S&T, and that's what came before this giant dump. That's crazy. Sequential S&T is really powerful. I'm not going to lie. So basically what I'm saying is, what could end up happening is we have S&T right now. We are at the monthly manipulation level, right? I don't know if Javier, I don't know if you're still here. But this is something I was observing. And then as well, on the weekly chart, this is the consequent encroachment of the weekly rejection block. Look at all that lines up really, really perfectly. So maybe, I know this is kind of super degen, but I low key, very low key, Javier. This is gonna sound super degen of me, and I probably shouldn't, but low key. What if I soup this? This is probably stupid, right? But what if I soup this with the micro stop? I'm probably not going to do this. Imagine I did, though, right? I soup this with the micro of all stop losses. And then I go for like 300 to 1. You're going to short there? Man, it's so tempting. I'm not even gonna lie. Everything lines up. What I would consider doing, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really considering this, is monthly manipulation level and then weekly consequent encroachment. They're so close together. I'm considering or maybe just enter at weekly consequent encroachment. I'm not even gonna lie. That's probably in the top ticket. So what you do is you find the exact level of the weekly consequent encroachment. Like, you can't mess this up. If you mess this up one tick, you're done. Right? No messing this up. But okay, that's anchored, and then that is anchored. Okay, so the exact consequent encroachment is 23,936. So what I'm suggesting, like, I'm not necessarily suggesting anything, right? But 1 point stop loss. Wait, it's still asking 10. What? What? Hey, it's a fun little idea. Weekly consequent encroachment, and then we take this down to all-time lows. But, like, hear me out, though. Hear me out. Like, this is a nice data low, right? Fib on the weekly wick of the weekly doji candle. Wait, fib on the wick of... Wait, you want me to pull a fib on it? Okay, I'm gonna pull a fib on it. I'm honestly, I might do it. Like, what's the risk? Like, it's just super tiny risk. This is the lottery for smart people. Right? If this is better than buying a lottery ticket. I know that. So, I mean, if this hits objectively, if this hits 10,000 to 1, if this hit, I think we'd be close to a millionaire, I think. But, like, the weekly equal lows. Wait, these? Oh my gosh, bro. Or, no, these? These? Bro, could you imagine? Bro. Holy. Oh, man. And you know why? What a good confluence for this is? My mom. My mom's like, you gotta invest in the stock market and buy Bitcoin. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably not, but, like, what if, dude? What if? It'd be so fun. 23,963 is at the 0.618 level. Interesting. Well, it would be fun. Oh, Kirk. Now that sounds smart, dude. That sounds smart. Kirk, that sounds smart. That actually sounds really smart. Because then you only risk the option contract. Wait, Kirk. You might be onto something, bro. Kirk, you might be onto something, bro. I don't know, man. It's probably not gonna happen. But like, if it did, that would be crazy. I think I gotta film. The market recap, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and film it. It's not gonna be perfect today, but you know what? It is what it is. It's not gonna be perfect, but yeah. Let's go ahead and see if there's anyone watching. Dang, let's go. 4 watching. Okay, guys. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. Once again, it's kind of right now. It's definitely market's bullish, but could you imagine if this was the turning point? Then that would that would be crazy. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end the stream here, and I'm gonna go ahead and film the market recap. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.